Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to Chrono Cross. It is a time to end the game once again, heading back to Apasa Beach. This time I have Leah in the party, and she is the important one. Riddell is in the party as well, but that's just for variety's sake, mostly.
So you finally made it all. When did this sorry tale all begin? Was it 10 years ago when you almost drowned here? Or was it 14 years ago when you were wounded by the panther demon that attacked you? That resulted in you being carried to Chronopolis where you came into contact with fate and the frozen flame. Or perhaps it was 2400 years in the future, when the time crash hurled Chronopolis back to prehistoric times.
So I think that's again. I mentioned this. I think that's a mistranslation. I think that's supposed to be 2400 AD.
Or it could even have been 12,000 BC when an ancient magical kingdom met its end after trying to use Lavos. Each is close to being correct, and yet at the same time so far from the right answer. The true beginning was during the destruction of the ancient kingdom of Zeal. As the palace collapsed around her, Princess Shala was sucked into a dimensional vortex, along with the Lavos Mammon machine. Shala and Lavos became unified into one even more powerful entity that would evolve into the Devourer of Time. Filled with the hatred and sadness of Lavos, half of Shala's mind became set on destroying all of existence. Yet at the same time, the other half of her mind desired to save the universe and to be rescued herself. As Shala fell through the time gate in this condition, she heard your crying echoing through time. That is when her story and yours began to intertwine. It is also when the past and the future began to intersect, and when the world became divided into two. Led by the pitiful crying of the young Auld made as the panther demon's poison took hold of him. Yes, Auld, the sound of your crying touched the heart of Princess Shala. Before the destructive mindset could become dominant, she cloned herself and sent her copy into this dimension. Shala left her baby daughter clone with her ancient magical pendant. This was to safeguard her daughter clone in life and death situations. The pendant would rewind time a little, sending her daughter clone into a safer point in the immediate past. That's right, Lord Smappy is Shala's daughter clone. And now about Project Kid, the time control project Balthazar planned out. The whole project existed to lead you to this one special point in time. The founding of Chronopolis, the time crash, and the battle between fate and the dragon gods. It was all coordinated so that you would get your hands on the Chrono Cross and come to this place. Of course, Lord Smappy was not to know anything about this whole plan until later. Further in the future, she is meant to travel back 10 years in time from now to save Auld from drowning. Lord Smappy was also meant to call Auld into the other world as he spoke with Tidal Rabbit here on Apasa Beach. You're our last hope, our final chance. Only you, who came into contact with Shala, and Lord Smappy, Shala's clone daughter, can do it. In the darkness that exists on the other side of time, Shala has been integrated with the Devourer of Time. Please, Auld, please release Princess Shala from the binds of that monster and her own hatred. Show us, the life forms that exist on this planet, what our new future will be.
So I wanted to go over this again because I wanted to discuss the basic storyline plot beats, which could have gotten lost over the 100 episodes of this series, 100 plus episodes.
Or even angels lose their way. 10 years ago, you died at this very spot. There's no mistake, you drowned. The truth is, this world in which you are still alive is the irregularity. This is the false reality. 10 years ago, it was Lynx who tried to kill you at this beach. After Prometheus broke the link between fate and the flame, fate tried to eliminate any obstacles that stood in its way. In the meantime, the 6 dragons had sent Nancy forth to try and gain possession of the flame. Nancy made contact with Fate's biological incarnation, Lynx, and tricked him into temporarily joining forces. The elimination of the Prometheus circuit's lock on the frozen flame was everyone's top priority. Lynx and Nancy abducted Luca, who alone could release the Prometheus lock that guarded the flame. But the whole attempt only ended in failure, so they waited for you to reappear instead. You see, Fate calculated that you would one day cross the dimensions and try to make contact with the flame. I don't know how to break this to you, but Lynx was actually your father, Wazuki. Drawing closer to the flame caused him to become unstable, and the image of you dying in terror changed him completely. Finally, after having his psyche totally eroded, he lost his soul and was easily integrated by fate. Fate turned Wazuki into a biological interface, modeling him after your worst fear at the time, a panther. Although Wazuki managed to escape from Chronopolis with you, he later completely succumbed to fate. Humans are such fragile, disjointed, imperfect things. Love and hate, life and death. Perhaps even fate itself dreamed of using the flame to someday reincarnate itself into a new species. It is quite sad, really. It's like when you gaze into the flame gazes back into you. A new species is about to be born on this planet, an alien life form even more evolved than the old Lavos. At the darkness beyond time, the weakened Shala came under the influence of Lavos, and the two became one entity. It is now up to you, the one whom the frozen flame has chosen as its arbiter. You alone can decide how the new Lavos, which has encaged Shala within it, will evolve from here. Your actions will determine whether in the future all time is devoured by Lavos, sending the world into everlasting death. Balthazar foresaw this was going to happen in his world in the year 2300, and he was determined to prevent it from happening, no matter what it took. The Chrono Cross. It alone can combine the sounds of the planet that the 6 types of elements produce. The melody and harmony that brim with all life forms. Use the Song of Life to heal her enmity and suffering. We entreat you, Ald. Please save Shala.
Alright, so, basically what happened is that, so we are crossing 2 dimensions here. There are others. There is one in which the events of Radical Dreamers took place, as we saw back in Chronopolis. There is also one in which Lavos never crashed to the planet, and the Reptites evolved into the Dragonians in the future, and they were the ones that created the Dragon God. It's essentially a biological machine. But in this existence, after the events of Chrono Trigger, in which Shala got sucked into a time vortex and merged with the Time Devourer, merged with Lavos and became the Time Devourer, it started having, like influence and stuff like that through the Frozen Flame, which was basically just a scale of its hide kind of thing, but obviously more. I mean, there's a lot of things that's essentially like hand-waviness. How did Shala clone herself? Hand-waviness. She was a master of magic, so. But Balthazar, in that event at the Fall of Zeal, Balthazar got tossed into the future. In Chrono Trigger, the initial visit to 2300, that future is after the apocalypse, after Lavos, the Day of Lavos, and everything is dying. That's when he created the epoch that the Chrono Trigger characters used. But then once they set time to right, I mean, there's a lot of paradoxes that are just kind of like hand-waved that get bootstrapped away. Balthazar instead gets tossed into the future where Lavos hasn't had the day, the Day of Lavos hasn't happened, and the world hasn't been destroyed. So that is the bright future, and he's aware of a bunch of stuff because he's, the guru of time and et cetera, et cetera. He creates a Neo epoch, sets up the Project Kid, the Chronopolis, and everything like that, and that creates the time crash, which sends Chronopolis back into the past, back to the Age of Zeal. But all of this is happening in the El Nido archipelago, which is basically sealed off from outside. But in that time crash, it also sucked back from the alternate future where the Dragonites, the Reptites evolved into the Dragonians. It sucked back a piece of their city, Dinopolis, which was, the Isle of the Sky Dragon, and the Terra Tower. And they fought, and Fate, being the supercomputer of Chronopolis, managed to seal up the powers of the Dragon God and split it up. they had a little bit of power left, and there's a physical resemblance between Harley and Kid, and the fan theory is that so the Dragon Gods themselves managed to, even though they were controlled by Fate Computer, they managed to split off a seventh portion of themselves after they were split up, and that was Nancy. And the theory is that the only human, you know, biological sample that they had to work with was Shala, so she could also be considered a clone of Shala in some ways. Um, and that's essentially like there again. There's a lot of hand waviness on how everything is interacting, but we were supposed to die 10 years ago, but Kid in the future hasn't happened yet. Is going to go back in time to save us. So we're getting a little bit of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure here on the order of things. And she will also call us across the dimensional boundary. Their Kid showed up at the what's it called? The point where our gravestone is, because she had gotten word of stuff, and it's not like future her told her or anything like that, as I understand it, at least. But of course, like Fate knew about this, so it informed Lynx, and like Wazuki, Miguel, and carrying young Ald, when he'd been poisoned by the Panther Demon, got into Chronopolis, and that's when the change started. But it took, I think it was like at the time that he was supposed that Ald was supposed to have died. He kind of killed us and faked it as a drowning kind of thing, or like faked it as a natural thing. That's what was supposed to have happened. And then he becomes Lynx, kind of thing. But with Kid's future interaction, that splits us off, and that actually creates the timeline in which Fate Computer does not have access to control things anymore. And that's why there's a lot of things in the homeworld that are substantially different. Not just like there's a lot of things that are different well beyond just our existence that if you've been playing, if you were playing up to that point, getting to Chronopolis, some of that should have been, nagging at you, like, why is that girl who writes poetry? I mean, I can understand that girl writing poetry might be different because of the existence or lack of existence of Ald. But why did Poor invade and stuff like that? So, like, there's a lot of things, and it's because in the current world we're in, Fate had no control over people, so they were able to actually act naturally. Now, there is that receipt in Luca's house about delivery to the Poor Navy. It's pretty clear, like, I mean, like, the assumption is that she supplied the technology for them to have guns. So that may have been a mistake on her part, but I don't know. I think like a lot of people complain about the interactions between this game and the original and stuff like that. I think that in terms of having a completely new storyline, that's not just the original characters going off on another adventure again. Which, how can you top what they did, kind of thing. I think this game works really well, and it also works as a good branch-off point. We've already established that there's multiple dimensions and stuff like that. Probably more dimensions than Fate is aware of and Chronopolis is aware of and stuff like that. So it's perfectly reasonable to think that a lot of the bad things that happened here did not happen in those other dimensions. So, I don't know. Overall, like, my issues with the game from a gameplay perspective, from like a storyline perspective, I wish the characters were more integrated into the storyline. Like, when we when you go to first, not first, but when you go to set up being able to recruit Orlaha, whoever's with you is like uh, giving orders to the poor navy. Works great if like one of those is Norris, but if one of them is like Viper, that's a little weird. Um, I don't think you can have Leah at that point, but you might be able to. No, you can't have Leah at that point. But like, there's some characters that it just would not make sense for, Economo Marcy is a little kid. Why would they listen to her? Kind of thing, you know. So it would be nice if there were some other, like, not just the same dialogue that's just altered based on who's saying it, but actual, genuine dialogue changes to explain why some people are like, why they're listening to some of these people and stuff like that. I also would have liked a lot more, like, like a lot of the characters. Oops. A lot of the characters just exist. Abcody is one of the guides, is fine. It would have been fantastic if they'd actually fully fledged out him being Magus, whatever. I go between various pronunciations. Rather than just some guy who's very similar. And I understand why they did it, but at the same time, and I know that this would have been way more complex, but just like more side stuff for them. I know that for Greco, there is a dummied out piece of armor called Getz's shirt, so it sounds like they planned to do a little bit more with him, but it just would have been really nice to get them to be a little bit more integrated into the game. Some people just exist. And you get a little bit with them, but it's generally like the only thing, like, where are you? Yeah. Mojo, who, if you hadn't changed his name, he would rename himself to Mojoy. Like, you get a little bit more story when you go back to get his level 7 tech, but that's about it. Like, have little side quests, have little elements where their story elements are coming up and stuff like that. It just would have been really, really nice to have more integration and have actual different dialogue with the characters. Certain characters, it feels like they should have more to say in certain scenes, and they don't because of that. That's my storyline complaint. Gameplay-wise, it's too many characters who are different, and you're trying to keep on top of all of them. Number one, I would definitely make it so that when you get 2 stars in a row, or when you get a star and you don't get all the level up bonuses and you get another star, all of those level up bonuses just accumulate, and you'll get them over time of fighting. So you still have to do all the fighting, but you don't. If you do all that, you don't lose anything. It feels bad to lose some of those, and I don't know if that how that affects your final stats. I was very curious to try something, and I tried it, and it didn't work. I was going to do a continue plus, and it didn't add the stars, which I was kind of hoping it would. So I could probably do a continue plus from here, but I don't think that would work quite the same way. So, like, I was really curious if you like just do not use some of the characters, how their stats would be different, and like how much of it is as you're getting up towards 90, 99 stars kind of thing in that area, how much of it is pulling to a destination stat-wise? Like, it seems like Ald is maxing out at 850 hit points. I don't know. Is he maxing out at 50 magic? Is he maxing out at other things? I just don't know. and I don't know how much of the level up bonuses are that. So if you go to 99 stars, are your characters always going to be the same, basically? I don't know. There's a lot of randomness in the level ups at early points, and getting to the end of a first run through the game, substantially different. All of that said, I still would have preferred if you had basic character roles. So-and-so's a magic user, so-and-so's a fighter, so-and-so's really good at defense, that kind of thing. And then you could just, like, swap between your elements and your equipment easily, like Final Fantasy VIII. The making the characters stat-wise fairly interchangeable in that way, I think would be a benefit to the game, because having to redo all, like, having to set up all of your elements all the time, and yeah, you can auto-allocate, but when you do that, especially when you don't have a whole lot of stuff, like, so some of this is fine, yeah, whatever. At these lower levels, I got plenty of elements. This is all fine. But now it's giving nostrums and magnify, diminish, magnify, diminish. That's not a great layout, but I don't have a whole lot of level 6 blue elements left. Couple earthquakes, holy lights, free falls, and carnivores. Okay, this is actually not the worst that I have seen. When it starts giving you all of the summon element traps, that's terrible, because it's, you know, that in a normal situation you can't use those, and there really isn't a big need to set all those traps all the time anyway. That said, a lot of times you're not, like, these are all, you're never going to be using all of these elements. Like, to a certain extent, there's almost too many element slots, especially at the lower levels. And you very rarely are going to be using all of those. So it's a good idea, but it lacks something in its execution. It's not terrible by any means, but it could use some work. All right, let's go ahead and time egg. No beginning and no end. To the darkness of time. So let's actually wrap this up, because I have some stuff that I'm going to read off. All right. So let's go ahead and get everyone up to a high level. I could just, like, use the thing. I haven't really equipped Cetria and Entarion with the best stuff. We'll see how it goes. It might be a problem. But we're not taking that much damage, so that's not a big deal. Okay. Now I need to use some yellow elements. That should get it set up to do some stuff. Okay, it uses a blue. That's fine. Electro Jolt. Alright, and then let's wait until it uses a yellow. Let's go in Deluge. I think it goes in an order, but it also does try to screw you up if it can. blue, there's carnivore. Now this is green. Got a lot of status effects on me, that's okay. There's green again. Let's see if it uses a yellow. If it doesn't use one pretty soon, then I may just try to make it green. That is on the wrong person. See how much damage she actually takes. 445. That's not ideal. Alright. Alright, I think I just go for it. Because he is not using a yellow element. So, kick it off with yellow. It's low res. Then red. Now I need green. Go with a heal on Cetria just to try and keep her from dying. Then blue. Okay, so far so good. Black, then white. Good. Alright, got it. Alright, why not just cap it off with a holy healing? So yellow, then red, then green, then blue, then black, then white. Oh, right, and then I need to use Chrono Cross. Forgot about that. And we get the good ending. Again. I love how they integrated those tones with the ending song. I mean, they probably composed the song and then, like, with the specification of having 6, maybe 7 notes. So whoever's in second position should have a little bit of dialogue, and that is why I brought Leah along. Because I think she has a very interesting comment to make. All that time spent with Lavos has bleached her hair too.
I've been waiting an eternity, just for this very moment. Meaninglessly hurting one another, the disappearing life forms. Love to hate, hate to love. Why are we born? Why do we die? Evolution? The survival of the fittest? What is there to be achieved from harming one another, killing one another? The eggs that we call planets and the innumerable spermatozoa, the life forms which gather around them. When one of those countless seeds is joined with a planet, a new universe is born. All this exists for that one moment, all so that the universe can evolve into the next dimension. Does that make us all just pawns? Are each of our short lives nothing but a cheap sacrifice, just so the one chosen life form can be born? No, that is not the case. Each and every one of us has a chance of becoming that one chosen life form. Yes, it could be you.
She's talking about me, viewers, not you.
Each of us tries to do our best with the hand we're dealt, be it our genes or the environment we live in. Each life form, struggling to make the best of the life it's given, forms a link in the golden chain that leads to the creation of a new universe.
It's very metaphorical there.
Every single thing in the whole of nature is perhaps just dreaming a dream of life. All of them are also perhaps nothing more than a dream dreamt by a planet before its birth. Oh, but yes, eventually all dreams will return to Zurvan, the Sea of Dreams.
Zurvan is like Zoroastrianism, isn't it? I meant to look this up after last time, I think. Hold on. Let me check. Yeah, it's part of Zoroastrianism, or a sect of it. Let's see. Oh yeah, okay. So Zurvan is the primordial creator deity who created Ahura Mazda and Agramanyu. Not sure if that is the same as Ahriman or not. But it's like a separate sect. You kind of see it as similar to the split between like Catholicism and Orthodox Christianity, or perhaps Shia and Sunni Islam, that kind of thing. Very loosely. How does Shala know about Zurvan?
Oh, don't go yet, Ald. It's all right. Everything is all right now. Time which has been divided will be unified again now. The time for farewells has come. You will lose all memory of this whole adventure and return to your own time. But this time you will be able to live your own life.
So what I'm not sure about here is, do we return to the beginning of this game, essentially, or do we return to even earlier, like when the time period split and stuff like that? I don't know.
Thank you. You've given me another wonderful memory of my dear Dario. I shall never ever forget my last moments with him.
Okay, it's the person in third position, not second position. Dang it!
Thank you again, and take care, Ald.
Oh, okay, no, I get both of them. I had Kid the first time, and I didn't get Kid's comment. Okay, so you can't... Okay, the good news is that you can do this with two people. I wonder if you could do that with using the relief charm and get 3 lines of dialogue.
Land calling Cetria. Time Cetria go home. Cetria already have big name for Cetria's child. Big, strong name. Ayla! New song of land. Bye, Ald.
So, yeah, little bit of dialogue there indicating that, you know, Leah, who is very, very similar to Ayla, there's a reason for that, because Ayla is Leah's daughter. Is that, like, 100% confirmed? No, but come on, would they put in Ayla as what she's saying she'll name her daughter if they didn't intend that to be the case? I don't think so. I don't think so. So it's another of the connections, the interweavings between the two games.
We alone do not have the power to heal the world's woes, or to solve all of its mysteries, and yet even then... It was bloody good knowing you, mate. Thanks for being born you, Auld. I guess now's the time to say see you later, mate, but I'll find you. Sometime, somewhere. I'm bloody sure of it.
And this dialogue is indicating that Kid is being reintegrated with Shala.
No matter the time, no matter the world you live in, I'll find you. I am sure I will find you.
So yeah, I wanted to include Leah in an ending specifically because of that callback.
Auld. Hey Auld.
I guess it goes back to when we fell asleep, we were first called through the dimensions. Okay, I guess that makes sense. But does our reality take over? Because there's some bad stuff that happened in our reality.
Are you alright? What's the matter? Don't scare me like that. You just passed out all of a sudden. What? Terra Tower? Fate? What are you talking about? We just got here. You got some AuldDragon scales for me. Don't you remember?
I'd forgotten about this part.
You sound confused. Come on, Auld. Get with the program. Our summer's only just started.
I had forgotten that section. Thus the curtain closes on another tale. An eternity has passed. Fleeting dreams fade into the distance. All that is left now is me and my memories. But I'm sure we'll meet again, someday, you and I. Another place, another time. It's just that we might not realize that you are you and I am me. Let us open the door to the great unknown, come across another reality, and live another today. Even when the story has been told, life goes on. Until we meet again, take care of yourself, my friend. Forever yours, Shala Kid Zeal. So, in Chronopolis, there was a line about finding, like, someone being given a book that was found in a closet. I don't know if, like, it said grandfather. I don't know if that's a mistranslation or if that's supposed to be just, like, another of the time differences kind of thing. You know, dimensional differences. Well, I think it's supposed to start out, like, didn't this happen last time too, where it was, like, black for a little bit? I don't know. Anyway, the dialogue we get from other characters, if we bring Guile along. It was an interesting journey, Serge. I will set out in search of a new enigma. Let us toast in hopes that our paths may cross again. That would have been a good opportunity to have him say something about, I'm glad I rescued my sister or something. Confirming that it is Magus. Norris says, "You've broadened my horizons, Serge. I sincerely hope to see you again." Nikki says, "Serge, I must say that was a rockin' gig, and I hope to jam with you again sometime. You're always welcome with us, the Magical Dreamers." Viper says, "Come see me should you ever need anything. You will make a fine dragoon, young man. God be with you." So here's my question. Is he still dead in the reality that we got back to? I don't know. Riddell, we saw. Zoa says, "Be well. I hope I can fight alongside you again." Marcy says,
Bye-bye, Serge. Next time we meet, I'll be a lot bigger.
Korcha says, "Well, it's been fun, Serge. I hope to catch up with you again sometime. Later." Lucia says,
Thank you. I was able to gather valuable data, and, Serge, grow up to be a fine young man.
Poshel says,
We really had a lot of fun on our field trip. Let's play again sometime. Me would love to have you.
and I think that's if you, well, there's two sections, and I'm not sure if it differs based on when you recruited Poshel. Probably not, because looking at some of the others, there's two things. I think that's a second screen kind of thing. And it goes on to say,
It's over. Come on, Sergi Poo. Let's go home. Mama Marge and the other Lena are waiting. Me, I'm hungry. Me want some Hecarim soup.
so, like, that one, like, the first one feels like if you recruited Poshel in your world, and the second one feels like if you recruited Poshel in the in another world. So I don't know. I'd be tempted to do another playthrough again, but I mean, I don't have to do another playthrough. I can just go back to the save I made, but I don't know. It takes a while. Karsh says, "We sure went through a lot together, didn't we? It was fun. I may never see you again, but take care, Junior. I mean, Serge." Rasley says,
This planet is gonna be alright, right, Serge? Teehee. I know it will, as long as it has someone like you or me.
Zappa says,
Take care, laddie. I plan to open up another smithy. Do not feel shy about stopping by.
Orcha says,
So long, Serge. I want you to know you're always welcome. I'll fix you something real tasty.
Radius says,
Our business is done. Shall we head back home? Kiki, Lola, Una, Conchi, and all the others are waiting.
Fargo says,
Aye, matey, it was sure a swashbuckling voyage. If you ever want to become a pirate, be sure to come see me aboard the SS Invincible.
Matcha says,
Well, it's time to pack my bags and head on home. Don't you think it's a nice feeling having someone special to go home to? Be good, Serge.
Glenn says, Yes, I will continue to follow in my brother's footsteps as a great dragoon. Good luck to you, Serge. I look forward to the next time we meet. Lena, I think we saw in the original ending first time we went through. But, if not...
Well, I guess this is it. You're going back to your homeworld, right? Thank you. You've given me a special place in my heart for the Serge who passed away 10 years ago. Goodbye, Serge from another world. And have fun with the other me. Goodbye.
Mickey says,
Take good care of yourself, Serge. Now who wants to see me dance?
Janice says,
Woohoo! Me and my cutesy monsters are go in for the gold. Good luck to you, Serge.
Draggy says,
Thanks, Serge. We'll always be friends, right? Always.
Starkey says,
You are going home, Serge? Starkey, I'm going home, too. My comrades are here to pick me up. Starkey learned a lot from humans. You are welcome, Serge.
Sprig says,
What an adventure. 'Twas just what I expected. I think it's about time I retired in peace. So long, Serge.
I will find you, even if I have to search the world over. Sometime, somewhere, I'm sure. I like her with that hair and that outfit, too. And back to the ending dialogue. Mojo says, Surge, I am so happy I met you. I'll continue to do my best as a messenger of love and courage. Take care, Surge, until we meet again. Turnip says,
Thanks, Surge. I will always beeth everywhere. Seeth thee in dreamland.
Neofio says,
Bye-bye, Surge. Take good care. If you come across a flower somewhere, remember me.
Greco says,
Finally, I feel I am relieved of a burden. I can move on now. Adios, amigo. Thank you.
Skelly says,
Hey, Surge, I really owe you one. Thanks a lot, man. Be sure to give me a holler if you see me somewhere sometime. Yak, yak, yak.
Fun Guy says,
Well, I guess it's time for me to head back to the forest. You know, I really don't mind the way I look anymore, so don't worry about it. Well, goodbye.
He should still go talk to his daughter. Let her know. Irene says,
Thank you. My sister's dream has become a reality, and he has to waken from his nightmare. Should you ever hear that song again somewhere, please think of us. Goodbye.
I think I did not do that accent properly. Mel says,
I guess this is goodbye then, Sergi. Haha, don't you worry. I'll be a good girl. Good luck in the other world. Bye-bye, Sergi.
Let's see. Van says,
Goodbye, Serge. We'll probably never see each other again. I won't be sad. Well, maybe just a little bit.
Sniff. Sniff says,
There are encounters, and then there are farewells. Farewell, Serge. But if I happen to spot you in an audience, I will ask you to volunteer again.
Stina says,
Thank you for everything, Serge. Please take good care.
Some characters really do not have a whole lot to say. And I find that sad and disappointing. I don't like that it's just like blocks of text that just pop up and that's it, and it's not integrated to the ending kind of thing. I would have liked a more integrated ending with the dialogue. Oh well.
I believe I may have changed for the better. Thanks to you, dude. Our hearts will always be with you, even in the other world. Catch you later, Serge.
That was Doc, by the way. Grobik says, Something new Grobik can do. That will be interesting. Pierre says, Take care, Serge. You know who to call when you are in trouble. We, the true hero. Oralha says,
I guess this is goodbye then, Serge. I'm glad I met you. Even though our worlds are different, I will never forget you. Thank you, Serge.
And finally, Pip says,
I will continue to travel the world and broaden my horizons. See you again, Serge.
And that is the end of the game. So, once again, I want to thank you guys for coming on out. I do want to have, there's a couple more things that I want to do. Obviously, I have not gotten Pierre's level 7 tech, and I want to show off all of the, everyone's techs. And, I want to go visit the lady in Termina to get everyone's fortune. I've done most people, but there are a few that slip through the gaps, and I'd like to get them all at once kind of thing. So that's what's left. I gotta play through the game again, though, to get those. So it's gonna be a while before I get them. I think I might have enough episodes to last me until I can get a chance to get those recorded. Which shouldn't take, I mean, like, they'll take some time to record, but I should be able to slip them into doing other stuff. So hopefully there won't be an interruption, and then we'll get those and then wrap up the Let's Play. So I want to thank you guys for coming on out, and I will be back next time. See you then, everyone.